How do you feel about the climate in LA right now as an independent?
In my perspective, I think that LA, Hollywood is dead.
Hey, what up, y'all? Welcome back to the Royal Lord Podcast. Today, welcome back our guest, my homie Curtis K. Case, filmmaker extraordinaire. He be bringing some horrors to life. Horrors. I gotta make sure I pronounce that right. My accent. Horrors to life. He bringing horrors to life. Doing his thing. I see you got the documents behind you. You got some secret documents back there. You out for the people? Is that your
Yeah,
vision board or it says love you? Love you. Oh,
it's
I love you too, man. Thank you. I think
you
you
know,
wrote that for me. You keep it up there every day, so you see Nate and you be like, "Hey, let me call him up."
yeah, that is a project that that's been I've been working on for a while,
Oh,
like
okay.
trying
Yeah.
to
Oh, so it is
yeah,
secret
like
documents. All right.
just trying to like get a outline put together and everything for that one and stuff. So
Is it horror
yeah,
related?
I would say it's not. I wouldn't. It's not necessarily horror. It's
Hmm.
more a thriller.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, thriller drama.
All right, all right,
So
all right.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, do
So
that's one of the first things I want to talk about because I know you're a filmmaker and I know you can, cross genre and stuff like that, but you seem to enjoy the space of horror and thriller and stuff like that. Like, am I correct in saying that? Or, like, is that a favorite place of yours to go to?
no, you're very right to say that.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Uh, so, what
is is I would say that like thrillers, I don't know, I can relate to it very well. I always, as a kid growing up, always was attracted to the horror films like, Halloween and Freddy and Jason and stuff. So, and then of course you had Pinhead and everything.
oh, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I wasn't trying to, oh, not to mention Phantasm.
Oh, okay, okay,
So
okay.
like I grew up watching those, and and outside of Hellraiser, I just
Oh,
I
yeah.
I Hellraiser was like on the deep end of the spectrum for me. So
Yeah, we talked about that last
yeah,
time. Deep end, like, you
yeah,
don't want to go in the deep end?
yeah. That is like on some sick level back there.
The
you know,
thing with me, I think I enjoy horror thrillers and not
yeah,
like horror gore. Like
right.
well, I guess I could do some gore like what do you call it, like Saw, but like when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
demons and all that, I can't mess with them demons, man. I
Yeah,
don't want
no,
the spirits in
yeah,
your house. I don't know. I don't know if
right.
it's a certain
Yeah,
energy. I can't be messing with them.
yep.
But
Exactly.
the,
It's just certain doors you don't want to open, open up Pandora's box and stuff and everything. So,
right.
it's like, okay.
Well, let
Now,
me. Oh, go. What you saying?
I mean, granted that, I do have some stories,
Oh,
but they're all up here, I
I
just
just
haven't
remember real
written them
life
out.
stories. I
No,
was
no,
gonna say
no.
somebody had to
I
get
mean,
exercised.
that right there growing up, I mean, there's some stuff I've seen too, but no, just there are some like some actually deep horror stories that I do have
Mm.
in my head, but it's just I'm like I just refuse to put it on
Oh,
paper,
oh goodness.
because some things is just that's just kept up here. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
don't don't want to release something like that out into the world or
Mm.
whatnot, and and us as artists is, I mean, we're kind of like the gatekeepers of certain things, certain energies that we put out there and everything, because and it's like, oh yeah, this is a cool idea. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it may be a cool idea, but do we really need to have that out there right
And then
now?
you get the human centipede.
Right, right.
What are we doing with that? What are we doing? Why?
Then
Why?
we're gonna have some wacko out there trying to do that for real. It's like,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I see.
like,
That's interesting that you said you got some in your head that you keep locked in there. That's yeah. I mean, I mean, people would think. Yeah, I guess not Stephen King. Maybe Stephen King. Things like that. Like he has certain stuff in his head and he needs to get it out on paper. Do you ever get
right.
it out on paper? Put it down on paper, just knowing you won't do anything with it, or put it on paper and burn it, or anything like. You ever think of just to get it
I
out of your mind? You know.
You know what? I pretty much like. No, I don't, because I
Okay.
just don't want the idea just to even to transform to even come out.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it's like, all right, you know what? Nope. Let me
It'll
go
be like
watch
you.
some anime. Yeah,
Yeah.
just let me go watch
Uh,
some anime, something. You know, just watch that out and everything. Go pray. You know, and stuff.
Could it be like
Just
entertaining it, and it
right,
might
right.
make it grow? And okay.
Yep.
The reason I came up, I mean, was asking about this question was because that was only before we started recording about your HOC Productions, about me section of the YouTube page of the HOC Productions. I was gonna bring it up, but on there because it says this is what I was, why I asked you about the horror genre and everything. So it says HOC stands for Heavenly Omnipotent Curtis, right? So I'm messing with you. So House of Case Productions is a is I thought you get a kick out of it. Is a film company that creates, produces, and showcases works of art and stories that reflect real life thoughts and adventures. Then we also cater to the imaginative, the suspicious, and the mentally dangerous. The mentally dangerous. What is happening in the realm of the mentally dangerous? So what draws you to the horror genre? That's the question I pulled from that. Like, what brings you to enjoy the horror genre? Like, why the horror genre? What entertains you? Why does that get your juices going? But like, I'm making this movie. I got to make this because you made. I know you said Pinhead, but you didn't make Spellbinder. But we talked about Spellbinder last time.
hmm
Spellbinder Shadow last time. You brought that character into a creepier place than I did when I utilized them. So, like, why horror?
Um.
I'm fascinated by
Well,
horror. So,
yeah. Is well, I do horror. I don't really like to say it's horror. Really, I mean, it's more suspense thriller a little bit, but you know,
oh,
I guess
okay.
you know, but you know, I like that genre and that feel because it, like I said, like I told you last time, it get people to think,
Hmm.
you know, and to you know just be aware as far as what's going on. You know, we put things in our films. We make action films about certain things and stuff, but you know, people are like, oh yeah, that's cool. You know, you got this car blowing up, and you know, and people jumping off of bridges,
Yeah.
or you know, running through fire and everything, and not really, you know, taking in as far as what the story is actually trying to convey. You know, why is that person running through fire? Like, what caused that to happen? And I feel like suspense thrillers are, you know, are more they're more able to connect and make people actually see and think like what's happening, like you know, like you're going through this journey with this character in this story because it's so suspenseful, and you're like, oh my god, what is getting ready to happen right now, and like what is she doing, why are you opening that door? You know, it's like, and then you start thinking like, would I even open that door? You know, what would I do in this situation? And so, you know, and that's like, and like I said, as a kid, like last time I told you, as a kid, I always like was the one that always like to scare people and stuff. So, you know, just being able to show that in film and getting people to actually, you know, be scared, but also think as well, like, oh snap, like if I was in this situation, what would I do? Because when we was kids, when we
yeah.
watched Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
and we watched Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
and you be like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
having sex
Yeah.
in the woods because you know Jason is coming after you.
Sorry,
He
it's like the
comes after
woods.
everybody that has sex in the woods and stuff.
And throw it
And
against a tree.
he shoves a machete down in their back and to the other person and stuff. And it's like, why would you do that? Go check on the children and, you know,
Go check on the
and
children.
stuff. So, you know, or, you
I like
know,
that.
you're watching Halloween and you be like, why are you running? Stop, run. You know, don't look back. Just keep running.
Yeah.
You know, get in the car and just leave the town. Don't stay in Haddonfield. Just leave this town.
It been time to
Yeah,
move.
you know,
It been time to
just
move.
go. Just drive and just keep going. Don't look back. You know.
And you grew up in the South, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so I mean, I heard you like you said, you know, you got stuff, the real horrors and the horrors in your mind and stuff like that. We ain't got to go there if you want to. I was just was wondering because, you know, I know Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's, you know, a lot of voodoo speaking and stuff that goes down in Atlanta. I was just curious, has that ever entered into like your realm, your reality? Like, was that ever part of anything like growing up? Like, was there voodoo introduced or anything like that?
Not necessarily
Okay.
voodoo introduced. You know, Atlanta is like in the South. It's the Bible Belt down there. So you know, going to
Okay.
church and everything.
Okay. Okay.
And you pray.
Mm.
And you know, they you know, growing up back in the 80s and in the early 90s and stuff, you had that time when you had revivals that was happening through
Okay.
the church. You know, church revivals was happening like almost every month, every weekend,
Mm.
and stuff. But there was some supernatural stuff that, you know, I've experienced that, you know, it's just I don't really want to dive that much
Yeah, yeah,
into,
yeah.
you
I
know.
got you.
But yeah, it was some supernatural stuff that I've experienced, and it was like, okay, this is, you know, this is interesting, and um, it's scary when you do experience it, and it's nothing to play with. So you
Yeah.
know, it's like that's why it's like some stories I just keep locked up here. You know, I
Right,
don't
right,
even
right.
want to release out, you know, to the world, because it's like some stuff you just keep that door
Yeah,
closed. You know.
yeah, I ain't got no problem you keeping it closed, man. Not on this podcast. You ain't got that sending that over here too. But I feel you, I feel you. That's interesting because you said it's the Bible Belt. When you said that, it made me okay because I know closer you are, you know, to God, the more the
Hmm.
devil wants to. So yeah, we're gonna move
Hmm.
on to the next topic now. Okay, so
Yeah.
but yeah, all right, I feel you.
Yep.
So we talked last time we spoke about your past project. We spoke about Spellbinder, Tristan. We touched on Tristan's Plight because I think that was the one you was working on producing at the time. And now
Yeah.
you have a new one coming out, a new movie. Is it wrapped or Despondent? Is that wrapped or
Despondent. Yeah, Despondent is already wrapped.
okay?
We finally finished. Well, it's wrapped on shooting wise. I would say
Okay.
that we're post wise we're about like 95%, 96%, almost close to finishing that up. Me and my editor, we just went over the V1 of the edit and
Okay.
stuff, and you know, the first version of the edit, and it looks pretty good. It was actually better than what I was expecting, since I was like, it was more of a running gun type of shoot,
Okay.
and you know, one man team and stuff. So you know,
All right. How many
yeah,
days it take you? How many shoot days do you have?
2 days.
2 days. Okay. All right. Nice.
2 days. Yeah, 2 days.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, most of the shorts that I've done is always done on the weekends, and it pretty much have been like 2 days.
Nice. Man, nice. I miss it. I miss it. But so with Despondent, Tristan's Plight, Spellbinder, and what was the short that you had recently? It was a short. Is it called Home Alone?
Yeah, it's called Home Alone, the
Yeah.
micro short.
Yeah,
We
man.
released, yeah, we released that out
That's
like 2 weeks ago, um,
and
earlier this
that's on YouTube
Instagram.
and Instagram. Okay.
It's on Instagram Reels. We're planning on releasing it out on YouTube probably this weekend, as a YouTube short.
Okay. Okay.
Um, yeah, so, and yeah, that'll probably be released out this weekend. I have to see and stuff.
Alright.
So
Yeah, I like that. I was like, is this? I thought it was a trailer to a bigger movie. I was like, come on, Curtis, give us the bigger movie, man. What's happening to her? What's in the basement? Yeah, I encourage y'all to check that out on his Instagram page. He got the stats down there, Curtis K Case.
okay.
Instagram.com/Curtis K Case. But yeah, you'll
Yeah,
see. I think it's one of the first ones right now. It's called Home Alone.
yeah, yeah.
pinned it up at
Yeah,
the top.
that, I would like, yeah, you can check it out on my profile or HOC's profile on there and stuff. So, because HOC has its own Instagram page as well.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. So with those movies, that we just listed, Tristan Plight, Despondent, Spellbinder, and everything you do, all the movies that you do. I was just wondering, like, how do you develop these characters? Like, how do you? Because is it only pulling from real life circumstances? Like, where do the influences come from to create the characters or the antagonists in the movies? Because I'm always like, even like the Tristan or Spellbinder, I know that grabbed your attention when we did it for Batman Beyond. So what is it
Right.
like? How do you develop the characters that you develop? Like, I'm more interested in the antagonists. The protagonist, I know that's just us. That's the audience. But the antagonist, what makes you? How do you get them? How do
Yeah.
you build them?
Okay.
Where they
So,
origin?
well, we know about Spellbinder.
Mm.
Tristan, let's see. So Tristan, his whole thing was when I wrote Tristan, I was pretty much in the mindset of like I was when I wrote Tristan, I was thinking about a few movies. I was thinking about the movie Mirrors with Kiefer Sutherland,
Okay.
and then uh the what was it, Secret Window with Johnny Depp.
Oh, okay, okay.
Um,
I remember that.
and so I was like, okay, you know, the whole split personality thing was really ringing in my head, and I was like, okay, how can I make this work? And so, I pretty much when I wrote Tristan, I don't know what was happening at the time, but I went to those two movies and I started
Mm-hmm.
thinking about those movies. And then I did something really creepy. I just went into my bathroom and I was staring at myself in the mirror.
Uh huh.
And so I was like sitting up there looking at myself in the mirror, and then I would literally be having a whole conversation back to myself in the
Yeah.
mirror.
All right.
And then I was like also having an internal conversation in my head at the same time. So I was like, okay, all right. So I was like, all right, so this is how I'm going to do this. This is how I'm going to do Tristan. But
Mm.
see, then Tristan, as I was writing Tristan, then another movie came to my mind. It was like Phantasm. And
Oh, okay.
if you
Fantastic.
guys haven't seen Phantasm, if anybody hasn't seen Phantasm, you should go check it. It's an older horror film that was done back in the 70s,
Oh, okay.
80s. And it was about
Fantastic.
this this guy called the Tall Man who was over this mortuary, but he was also like a demon that would pretty much dragging people bodies into the
Oh,
mortuary. And it wasn't, I wouldn't say he was a demon. It was because they end up making like 10 of them, and you kind of find out that it was like they kind of find out that he was like sort of like an alien slash a demon
but
s type of thing. But
in the first
and
one,
they
he
kind
was
of
right.
put, yeah, at
Oh,
first
I
he
got
was
it here.
kind of like a,
What?
a demon that was coming from a different dimension, and he was dragging people to their bodies to this other dimension so their bodies can supply nutrients or whatever to whatever
Yeah.
the little demonites or whatever that was running around and stuff. So um
Sheesh.
and then there was this orb that was literally, which at that time back then was very fascinating because you had special effects wasn't really
I
a
remember the trailer for that.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's this orb just floating around in this mortuary,
Mm.
and you have these spikes that just comes out and just and it was like, as a kid, I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool. You got this silver orb just flying around and just stabbing folks and
That's what
stuff and everything.
that's what caught your eye until you saw the movie.
And I was like, man, and there's no reason I should have been seeing this as a kid
Right, right,
because
right.
but as a child seeing that, I was like, oh, that is pretty cool just to see something that effect like that on TV at that time because yeah, special effects wasn't, where it is now
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff. I'm sure they had somebody running around with an orb and some kind of a suit or something,
yeah.
and they had to do a lot of editing and post in order to clean that up.
Right,
But
with the animation type stuff, how
right,
Disney was doing
yeah,
animation, mixed it in there
yeah,
somehow.
yeah.
But
So, and then that was also a low budget film.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, at that time. So,
So
um,
inspirations pulled from other
yeah, other
movies, and
other
then
films and stuff. But
took
yeah,
into your inner
Tristan was
self.
yes, Tristan started out like at first, like yeah, it's supposed to be like a man that's dealing with split personalities, and then now, if when you go and watch Tristan all the way to the end, you
Yeah, yeah,
have this other cliffhanger,
yeah.
and that was supposed to, and when I wrote that, and I was like, okay, then this is where I can tie in like the Phantasm type of S deal because if you watch the end of Phantasm, you'll see like what happened at the end of that. But
No spoilers.
yeah, no spoilers
For a
on that. Yeah, I'm like
1970s movie.
yeah, you guys got to go and do your research.
Watch Tristan's
um,
plight though.
right, yeah, watch Tristan's Flight, and then um, but I was like, okay, let me do that. And so I was like, yeah, that's where we went with that. And I thought it was pretty cool
Yeah.
and everything. And of course, everybody that watched it, was like, what's next? What's happening? What happens?
Right, right,
What's
right,
next?
right.
Same thing with Spellbinder.
So,
So,
so there was so I was saying, so those inspirations come from other films and internal stuff, external stuff, I assume, because in order to get the
yeah,
internal, you gotta have something
they
external.
external.
You was talking about something when you went in that bathroom, looking in the mirror. I thought you were taking that story in a different direction. I was like, hold on now, this is a PG-13 rated show. No, it's not really. But anyway, so and in the same vein of how do you develop the characters, I was just curious, how do you cast about casting? How do you approach casting? What qualities are you looking for in the actors when you do cast them and things like that, in order to get them the right
Well,
authenticity that you need for your films?
how do I approach casting? Well, sometimes like, when I'm writing a story, like
Mm-hmm.
I know I have a lot of friends that are actors,
Right,
and so but when I'm writing a story, I can kind of envision a certain person playing those roles, and so and I don't reach out to them until I'm finished with the script. But
yeah.
oh, excuse me, it's early.
No, I got you. I got you.
So like when I finish writing the script
Mm-hmm.
and I made sure that the story is good and I flesh it out and make sure I read through it and
Right.
stuff. And I'll be like, all right, cool. Then I'll reach out to my friends that, I feel like can play this role. Cause, so like Tristan, Antoine, I knew he would be able to play that role when I put it together.
Right.
And I was like, okay, all right, yeah, Antoine would be able to do this justice. I know he would be able to
Yeah.
do this. And Nicole, who played the other character, Monique, and I knew that she would be able to do a killer job as well. No pun intended. But
Spoilers. No.
you know, so go watch Tristan, you'll see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, so, but yeah, and so like when I did that, and I was like, all right, and so I sent the script out to him. I messaged him first, and I was like,
Okay.
hey, I have this script, and I think you'll be good for it. Would you be interested? And I was like, the script is attached below. Let me know what you think.
All right.
So that
So you
and they
got the
take a
cheat code.
read, and yeah,
You got a
and
cheat
they were
code.
like,
You already know a lot of good actors, so
you're right.
casting ain't. You don't have to have a casting call too much. You're like,
No, not
I
too
mean,
much.
okay.
Not too much.
All right.
So
Have you
yeah,
ever had a casting call with like? In,
I would say that not with these projects here,
okay,
but
okay,
I have something else that I might have to have.
okay.
I might
Do
have to have
that.
that.
You think you'll find it difficult to cast? Like, because the casting process for me is I don't want to say it's fun because it has its ups and downs, and sometimes you miss,
hmm
and you gotta redirect, and you gotta. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, yeah, you got to like recast. You got to just. Sometimes it gets difficult, and telling people no
Right.
ain't like that ain't what makes my day happy. Telling people nah, you ain't
Right.
get the part, something like that. But it got to go
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
have you had to tell people no and or ever fire anybody
Um, I've
without
had
saying names?
to, let's see. I'm trying to think. Like,
I mean, they
hmm,
have
I've had, when I did my first web series, which was Siblings,
yeah.
I did a casting call for that.
Oh, okay, okay.
And for that one, I it was very interesting and entertaining.
Casting.
You get to casting. You get to meet different artists. You also get to see different people's interpretation of the character that you've written.
Right, right,
You
right,
know,
right.
and it's like something that you didn't even think about. Think of. You did,
It could make it better,
you
right?
know, sometimes they'll make it better, and sometimes you be
Yeah.
like, did did you read this? Did you read this?
I
I
mean,
so
like,
like,
yo, some
like,
people they be having a lot of casting calls because actors be they be hustling. And sometimes they have
yeah,
a lot of casting calls that day, and I'm like, this ain't the comedy one, sir. You need to
right,
go ahead and get into your drama bag real quick.
right,
I'm like,
right.
yeah, when you
You
dust that
know,
little boy, you ain't supposed to be juggling or whatever. Like, I don't know, but I feel you though. So, did you read? Did you
I
read
was
this?
like, did you read it? And then some of them would be like way over the top, and you'd be like, okay. I'm like, all right, let's bring this down
Yeah, yeah,
to like
yeah.
a 5 because right now you're at a 20. You ain't even at a 10. You at a 20 right now. So it's like
Yeah.
let's bring this down here.
And then in your director bag, and in your director's bag, have you ever had, or is there any moments where you had to deal with maybe a difficult castmate? I like to ask this just for like for people that are aspiring to be directors and
Yeah,
things like that, and like how did you resolve it? Because I mean, you don't take me as I know you for years now. You don't take me as the guy that's in there like yelling back at people or yelling at somebody and cussing and screaming and throwing up a foot. You mean that type of thing, like making a scene type stuff with ego. And
yeah,
so I'm just
yeah,
curious, like for any aspiring
um,
directors coming up, like if they have difficulties on cast, I see it a lot
yeah.
in student films and
So,
stuff like that.
oh my goodness, man,
You have to say names if you could like brief around it, or if,
I
just
would say
how would
that
you?
like I did have a couple. I had a couple on 2 projects. I had a situation. One of them, I was just so far into production that I was pretty much almost tied down to that actor,
Right.
and I couldn't do anything. So it was like crap. It's like all right. Now it is what it is. But it was also a learning tool too for next time.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I was like, okay. Second time, I I was like I reacted a little bit quicker, and I talked to that talent and
Mm.
you know, tried to like reason with them and try to see like how can we get on the same page here, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it just wasn't happening,
Mm.
and so it was like I was like okay, so that I had to we finished production that day and I had to go home and
Mm.
um I had to really make a hard decision because I'm also an actor too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's one thing is you just don't want to like take a job away from
Yeah. Yeah.
a talent, and it's like now you put me in this situation like okay, great, now I have to I have to do this now because
Yeah. Yeah.
is there's no way around that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
If the project is suffering, which
right,
it ain't, like
right.
I said, it ain't fun. It ain't.
No,
It
it
takes
really
on.
isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and with that, it was like, all right, I had to send an email. I made a call
Mm.
to the talent and let them know. It's like, all right, this is what we're gonna have to do, do going forward. And
Yeah.
then after that, then I sent the email out to that talent just
Mm.
for documentation.
Right, right. Receipts.
And
Get the receipts.
yeah, yep. And so after that, I had reached out to another talent
Mm.
that whom I knew, and luckily, they were available and they were down,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like, all right,
Able to
let's
save it.
do it.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, I take from that some like if you're aspiring director and you're making movies and even if you're in a student film, like you said, you the first time it happened, you know, well the second time it happened, you learned from the first time it happened. So sometimes it's just you might have to go through it,
Yeah,
and you can. I mean, because yeah, it's been several times. Like I've peeped the situation. Like all right, I've seen this before. We got to curve this before
mm,
it gets too bad, type of
yeah,
thing. So yeah, I
yeah.
got you. I got you.
Yeah. And then you also like as a first time director, people will be like, no, no, no. Well, it's gonna be a. You also had to think about like your project too. Your project is your baby as well. So it's
Mm,
like, what is going to suffer? It's
yeah,
like, is your project gonna be able to survive what's happening on set?
yeah, yeah,
And will it be able to? Because sometimes like you watch some films, you can tell the chemistry like is off between talents,
yeah.
between two different actors and stuff because
Mm,
something may be going on set, and then you get in front of camera and it ain't there. It's not showing as
yeah.
far as like that chemistry that's supposed to be having and stuff. And it's like that could have been that could have been changed if you had actually did something. So
Yeah. Just be
that's
aware.
just
Don't be afraid either. I know
yeah.
don't be afraid to like you
You,
said, it's your baby.
yep. You
Yeah,
can't be afraid.
don't let nobody lay
It is
hands
your
on your
baby.
baby today. You
Yep.
got to go. So
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I mean, it's like
So
now if you got let's say you want to say you cast Denzel Washington and then he don't like you. But he gonna do your movie and stuff like that, and he's still doing good, and the project ain't suffering. I'm like, all right, he's just gonna have to not like me. All right, Denzel, I'm gonna get that action. All right, do what you gotta do. Movie
yeah,
still good. All right, get me out.
pretty much. It's like I'm like,
I guess
did that turn
project
out right?
putting the project first. I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is one of the many challenges that we face as directors on set and things like that. I want to keep you in your director bag right now because you're an independent filmmaker
Yeah.
as well. I am as well. However, those words supposed to get put together. So I was just go curious of the challenges of directing on a tight budget. 'Cause I know you ain't a millionaire. And maybe you're, I don't know. I don't want to put your business out there. Maybe you're got some, he got millions, y'all. Go get him. But like, I know as an any independent artist, like who ain't being funded by a production company or something like that, is like we're working with a tight budget. I was just curious what challenges come with working on a tight budget. Like, what are you lacking, and like how do you overcome these challenges working with a tight budget? Because we do crowdfunding and things like that, and maybe get help from
Right.
fam and things like that. But like, how do you deal with the tight budgetness? And with horror, it might be I don't know if it's easier or harder, but I know
Well,
you do more. Mm.
this is the thing. Like I guess this is also why I'm so keen in psych thrillers and stuff because
Mm.
you can literally take one space, one room,
Right.
and you can turn it into a whole film. You can turn on one room into a whole film. I'm like I said, look at Secret Window. There wasn't many location shots in that movie,
Yeah.
Secret Window, and in even like and Saw.
Mm-hmm.
Saw was in a room. It was in a room with people handcuffed.
They did deviate, but it could have been in that
Yeah,
space for the whole movie and like told a story.
yeah, right. It's
But
like and
performance.
most horror films outside like most psych thrillers films or horror films
Mm.
like outside of like your iconic um horror icons like
Yeah.
Freddy and all that and stuff.
Right.
Most of those takes place in one space because you know that closed in space causes the audience themselves to not think about other things. You're in that one location.
Gotcha.
Now, like if I had a huge house, yeah, that one house
Yeah.
would be the one location. That huge house will be the one location, and you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, look at we look at Get Out. Get Out started out at we had two locations.
Mm-hmm.
When they first opened up, when they was in the girl's bedroom, which they really didn't show much of.
Right.
Well, I would say three, because then you had the road. They was in the car.
Yeah.
On the way to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then they was at the house.
Yeah.
And then they filmed everywhere around that house, on the yard, and everything was at that one location. So,
when they were driving, that's probably like up the block.
Right.
They could have been a different bedroom in the house.
Right. Yep, you could be right. You could be right. And so, and you use just camera angles as far as how to work it. But like back to your question, working with a low budget, I would say that the tough part is for one is being here in Cal is trying to find people to fit within that budget.
Out of California. Oh, okay.
Yeah, trying to hire people that fit within that budget, because you have people who are good at their crafts, and you just don't want to shortchange them as far as like their craftsmanship and their work and their time. And stuff, and you don't want to shortchange them, but it's like, okay, this is what I have though. This is the budget of what I have. Mm-hmm. And what I come to find out is, if you actually talk with the people and be honest with them, and it's like, look, this is my budget. Yeah. This is what I got. Can you work with me? Mm-hmm. And sometimes they'll either say yes or no. It's nothing personal when they say no.
Right.
It's just that they got food, they got to provide, which I understand that. Mm-hmm. and stuff. So it's like, I would say it is also in the blessing in disguise. Sometimes when they say no, mm-hmm. you might find some upstart, somebody that's just fresh, that's new, and just hungry, and just want to do something. And they come in, mm-hmm. and they knock it out of the park, as far as like, oh dang, I didn't even know who you were, but you were good at what you were doing, what you're doing, And it's like, okay, cool. Sometimes no could be a good thing, because you might find a diamond that hasn't been found yet, and and it's like, oh crap, okay, cool. Now, I got you on my project, and then they go off and go blow up, and it's like, at least he worked on my project first, though. They worked on my project first, Hey,
that's how I look at you. No, I mean, but I do feel a sense of pride though when I see people, you and Joe Santos and even like Nicole. This is how far y'all have come and stuff like that. I mean, I wasn't there at the beginning. I don't know y'all actual beginning.
Right.
Out there earlier stages, it's been a while, like a decade or so.
But, yeah. We've been through the trenches together, bro.
yeah. I like what you said. It sparked something in my mind when you said about the one location. You said because it keeps you there, and
mm-hmm.
like especially like in horror, I like that. It's like it gives you that tunnel vision, and maybe a subliminal sense of, I'm trapped here. I can't, like, where is he going to go? Because like you said, Get Out, they were just in that house, and it's like, all right, well, he can't he just leave? Like, you know what I mean? That type of thing. But like the locations and the movies keeping you here, like, no, you gotta see this through right here.
Right.
You can't go nowhere. You're in the woods having sex.
Right.
Now you got a machete in your throat. You can't go nowhere. That's one of the questions I'll be asking. I'm like, can't y'all just leave? Just leave. Ain't nobody gonna go with you. We out. All right, I'm out.
I say that to Nicole a lot, and she'd be like, "Well, if we actually do what we normally would do, the movie would be over." You
should make a no. Well, baby, ain't no one's gonna steal that. But I can see you doing a short. That'd be a nice comedy short right there. Put you and Nicole in it too. Just hey, you hear that noise? Then see the moving truck and credits. I'm like, it's the moving truck today. Credit that's the end of the movie. You have a sad ghost in the window, maybe in the back, like, what's going on? I ain't said, what's that movie? Haunted on Hill House.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. I'm out. Get out of here, man.
Yep.
Crooked lady or whatever, the crooked neck, whatever it was. I ain't got no time for these ghosts. But
Yep. Yep.
you tapped into something I was going to save to the end, which is working in Los Angeles, and I was going to ask about the your perspective on living in LA and filmmaking. I've seen because I moved back east now. I was in LA for the past almost decade, and I see people on Instagram, right? On Instagram and X, I guess I don't have X, but I see people talking about it, and they talk about the climate of the movie climate in LA and in general. And I know, post-pandemic, a lot have happened, and there were strikes and stuff like that the industry went through. And they saying it's like struggle bus out there, and like I'm not out there and I'm not in it. It's been almost a year since I've been in LA, but I was just curious about how you see the climate of filmmaking in Los Angeles. Is there any ups? Is there any downs to it? The pros and cons of being out there? I know one pro we mentioned was being amongst professionals, and that's what I like. That's what I love about it. There's people that are deep and professional in their craft. I can't find a stunt coordinator, stunt people like out here like that. I miss my stunt people.
Yeah.
Video graphics, like you got everything you need out there at a professional level.
Right.
But
Right.
how do you feel about the climate in LA right now, as far as filmmaking is concerned, as an independent producer?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I would say that in my perspective, I think that Hollywood is dead.
Hollywood. Okay.
Yeah, I always think that
That's separate from the film industry, because we got stuff in Atlanta and everything too, or in other places.
well, with studios are taking productions out of the U.S. To the U.K. to Canada and everything, and that's also happening in the South, from what I'm hearing.
Okay.
So, the film industry is suffering right now, and I don't see a way that it may return to its former heyday.
Oh goodness.
And unless there's a huge shift, a huge change as far as studios bringing production work back to here. Right. Because independent film, the reason independent filmmaking thrived because studio were here and they kept a lot of the high tier production people working. And so now independent filmmakers, the really ones that's on the low end, can't really, they won't be able to get any work because of the high tier people that was working so much are now taking the independent stuff.
Like with streaming and everything too.
Yeah.
TV shows,
right. So it's okay. So now I would say that it's gonna be a change as far as a different game plan as far as how independent filmmakers attack things, how they go about doing things now. Like me, not just me, but a lot of people in the film industry are not working. And it's rough out here. It's really hard on a lot of people. A lot of places have closed down as far as prop houses, really? Stages.
Is that part of because they're taking business outside of the U.S.? Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, people that you see here in LA, they didn't realize how much the film industry actually put into the economy because,
They're doing them strikes. They did. They should.
Yeah.
I remember the director, the actor strike. Whew. When stuff wasn't getting made, That connects to
Yep.
the bars or restaurants, which connects to
Yep.
people. Or you gotta save
Yeah.
money. So, oh goodness,
Yeah.
yeah.
And because of that, a lot of restaurants have closed down and stuff. So, it's
Hmm.
I don't know what they're going to do, or what's going to happen or whatnot. I've seen some people actually leave the industry entirely.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just they change gears. And even myself, I had to change gears and go and get a normal job.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
as I was saying, I was telling
yeah,
you earlier, I was looking at your IMDb, man. You got stats on stats on stats on this thing, so and
yeah,
credits on credits.
yeah.
But
So yeah, it's rough. It is a rough time for everybody out here right now. So so if people planning on coming to Hollywood, I would say save your money.
oh,
Just
really?
keep
Oh,
saving, save. Because if it's not even just for coming out here to work in the film industry, save
mm,
your money because you need to save a lot of money to even live out here in
yeah, yeah.
LA. Because the prices have gone up, and the price of a one bedroom apartment and one bath, you're looking at close to 3 grand. So you know
It's like
yeah,
that now.
so yeah, it's like that now. It's like that now. So I would say people need to save their money and really do their research as far as becoming before coming out here to
Yeah,
LA, and they don't want to end up out here and then not being destitute and not having anything and stuff
definitely. Yeah.
and stuff. So,
I remember.
and and
Oh,
and actors are literally, you don't necessarily even have to be here in LA anymore.
yeah. You get hired,
Because
they fly you out.
actors, yeah, they're doing remote auditions
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff, and if you have to pay for plane ticket just to fly here to come for an audition and fly back, then so be it. But it's like some of them are doing remote auditions now
Mm.
and stuff, with video calls and stuff. So, um, but that is my perspective on things here. Some people
Uh,
might have their own perspective, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I would say that's
I mean,
mine.
that is what I've heard a lot of. Like, I mean, I just, let me see. Yeah, I think you're the first person that whose opinion I value, and can give me like talk to me like keep it real and stuff like that. So it's a lot going on threads and X and stuff like that. It's like people I don't know, they might just be bandwagoning and talking about, oh, the industry's messed up, the industry messed up, because maybe they went out there and didn't prepare themselves and stuff like that, so they just want to add on or pile on. But I mean, like, so you've been active in the industry. Prior to the industry, you've been active in this the art form itself, which I see you haven't. And
Right,
I'm so happy you haven't given up on that. Which like we're artists, we're not giving up on the art.
right,
The industry can do what it do. We're not giving up on the art. You know what I'm saying?
you're right, right.
So
Yeah, no,
yeah, but
yeah,
yeah, that's I was just out there. Well, not just 10 years ago, or when I first moved out there, I moved out there with $270 something in like first month's rent. And so I was just gambling and rolled the dice on it, but and things worked out. I was out there for 10 years, and I was like, hey, the price of these apartments and stuff. One thing that just bothered me, I couldn't live on my own. I couldn't like make enough. I have a living wage to live on my own. Like living out there, you always need a roommate. And I was like, I was like, is it like that for everybody? Like, what type of job you gotta have to not have a roommate? Because you gotta feed yourself and then other stuff. It's
yeah,
just a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. I was enjoying every moment of it. The weather's beautiful and stuff. you know, the weather ain't gonna pay the rent. So anyway, but yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Have you spoken with any other like industry leaders or anybody in the industry that you've worked with before about excuse me, any solutions that they might have that the industry, I mean, that the production companies probably could do? I know it's a big deal, and like you're like, I'm one man, I'm an independent filmmaker, Nate. I'm here, I'm doing my thing. So, but I don't know what the big
no.
companies need to do.
As,
Has anybody
as,
said anything
as
like what they think should happen to turn
yeah,
things around?
it's I would say that I have reached out to some producers and stuff that I
Okay.
know that I know that are union and also non-union, and
Oh, okay.
also like so they they're hurting. They're all hurting, and everybody's just like, just hang in there. That's always just hang in there.
Just hang in there.
Yeah, just hang in there.
That little cat on the poster.
Things, yeah. It's like things gonna turn around. We all suffering, and I'm like, really? I'm like, come on now. It's
I know
like,
they hear the
okay,
solutions. Like, how is it gonna turn
yeah. It's like,
around?
what are y'all planning? What do y'all got right now? And
Yeah.
so, um, but and this is we're in fall right now.
Yeah.
We're in the height as far as like technically, usually things are really hot right now
Mm.
because that's where all productions are like in, and everybody's trying to get stuff made before the holidays, before the end of the year, and
Yeah.
so they can wrap up and everybody can be gone to go home for the
Yeah.
holidays
Yeah. Right.
and stuff. But
Hmm.
that's not even happening right now. Like you barely may get a call like to come work on a commercial or whatnot.
Mm.
And stuff. So, it's the union jobs, they're working, some of them, not all of them, but
Mm.
some of them are working.
So is that
It's
part of?
sparingly,
Oh, I was gonna say that part of
it,
like the solution to start trying to join the unions.
well, it's,
I don't want to get you in trouble, man. Don't say that. I don't want to get you in trouble. We go to the next topic.
you know,
I know. Yeah, don't get blacklisted on
uh,
my show. You know what I
I
mean?
was like, look, you
Don't
can
do.
join the unions. There's nothing wrong with the unions
Okay, all
joining the
right.
unions
We can
and
leave it at
stuff.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I would say
But
that,
that's not necessarily a solution. All
it's
be a
not
solution.
necessarily a solution
Okay,
because joining the unions doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to be working.
gotcha. Okay, we can leave it at
If the
that. We can leave it at
studios,
that.
yeah, if the studios don't have work, there's no work. They can't
Yeah,
produce something out of thin air.
yeah.
Um, then so, but yeah, it's
I'm gonna start looking into
it
that. The solution
yeah.
was to.
So
We gonna talk about that
yeah,
next time we talk.
yeah.
Bring some possible solutions to this
Yeah, yeah,
industry.
for sure. I mean, it's like, look, me, I would personally love to like be able to keep, I try to keep creating and whatnot and stuff. And
Mm.
right now, like I said, working a normal job, but I have to take care of the household first.
Yeah, yeah,
And then, I look through my list of shorts that I've written, and
yeah.
if it's something that, going back to your question as far as the low budgets things, like,
Mm-hmm.
being on a low budget, you got to find something, find a story that fits within that budget. You
Yeah.
know, don't get like a 30-page script and you're expecting to be able to do it like for $5,000 or even $2,000, and
Like,
it's like,
so like this.
look, yeah, yeah,
Don't
something
get
like that. No, no, no,
this is the one I've been wanting to do
no,
for so long, man. We going to put this on the
no,
back burner, yeah.
no. That right there is gonna need some funding. That's gonna need like some backing and
Always,
everything. So,
always.
so
Then you
you,
did
you
yours over a
gotta look.
weekend, so
Yeah, and being able to do that, those scripts are those shorts. I write like those are like 10 to 12 pages,
yeah,
and
okay.
you got to simplify the story too. You got to make sure the story is simple.
Bottleneck it.
You right,
Yeah.
and you got to do it in a creative way.
Humble beginnings. Humble
Right.
beginnings did provide us with, you know, massive creativity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Sorry, my ring light decided to go out, so it's like, all right, it's dark now. Let me see if I can.
oh, go ahead. Let you hook it up. So if you learned anything so far, y'all, just get creative. I know you can still hear me. Get creative with your low budgets. You know what I mean? Don't move to LA unless you got thousands of dollars. Unless you want a roommate or 6 roommates, yeah, go out there with 6 roommates. Why not? I'm gonna find out what these solutions is though to what's going on with the industry. Cause I just heard whispers. I haven't been out there in like a year now. Almost coming up on a year. I haven't been in LA, but it's good to know. It's good to know people out there. It's good to know that even if the industry is struggling, that the creativity is not struggling. The art itself is not struggling because people are still doing it. That's why I love independent artists, man. I mean, not just because you get to play by your own rules within the realm of the art itself, but you don't have to rely on the politics and having that dictate what you do and how you create and things like that. So, all right, we make some adjustments to the lighting for Curtis. Let me let y'all check out this trailer for Tristan's Plight, so y'all can check it out. Get excited about checking it out. Here we go. All right, check this out. We'll be right back.
I don't need you. Oh, but you do.
Who are you talking to?
Light.
All right, y'all, check out Tristan's Plight as soon as possible. It's on HOC Productions YouTube page. I'm gonna have a link down there in the description. Okay, and we were just talking about the climate of the industry in LA. I wanted to move on to a slightly lighter topic as we close up here. Talk about the challenges of directing. Talk about the horror scene, and I just wanted to know from you, were there? Well, I was going to say, was there anything supernatural that happened on set? But let's go the other way. Like, were there any happy accidents, like, on set? Was there ever any time where you were on set and you was like, all right, this scene is working out this way. This is how I wrote it. But then something different happened. And you was like, oh, well, no, we'll go with that. Like, any happy accidents type of things that made the movie better, or even in the editing room. Like, if there's any on set, like to hear those.
Yeah, that was on the first when I did Spellbinder.
Okay. What happened there?
That whole bathroom scene with the smoke and him walking out and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was not something that I initially had in mind, but that was due to my cinema photographer. He actually created that whole scenario, and I was like, oh. Oh, I like that.
Nice.
I was like, yeah, that's dope. I like that. And so, and it was pretty cool because we had it to where the whole bathroom was fogged up. We was like, he just fogged up the bathroom, and then Spellbinder walks up through the fog, but you just see like this silhouette that behind Andrea and everything, and then she moves, she runs off, and stuff, and so like we technically, like I have to look at it again. I'm trying to think like did we even include that into the film, but I do know we had the hand to reach out to touch her, like grab her like through the fog and stuff, and it's like she turned around.
I brought up some of the pictures on screen.
Right. So, and I think we should have incorporated that now that I think back. I might come out with an extended edition of Spellbinder.
Extended edition? That was one that I wanted to keep going to. I was like, hey, I want to see more. I want to see, beyond this. Beyond. But
yeah.
I want to see more of that.
Yeah. Like, well, just to because when people go and see Tristan, please go check out Spellbinder too. But it's just to ease people's mind. Like, it's like, what is he? Is this like end or whatnot? No, that is not the end. I am literally working on the continuation of that story as far as like script wise and stuff. It's just that Spellbinder costs. So that thriller definitely costs. Because it takes a little bit more time and creative minds to be able to make that work.
Good. It is a visual effects in
and
there too, right?
yeah, it is visual effects in there and stuff. So, I have to be able to, talk to the VFX artist and try to like let him know, it's like give him notes and
Yeah.
and yeah, that's more in detail and that takes a little bit more time. And I was like, okay, cool. But like but just to let you everybody, I am planning on doing more with that. It's just we ain't there yet.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we ain't there yet. So,
Well, like, man, that's one thing I like to tell people too who have come to me and asked me about like sequels and things like that, or just how long they should be like how long they should wait to do like their next project, or like if they're just rushing to put it out. And I was like, don't rush. Make sure it's what you want it to be before you put it out, because people can wait. If you rush and put it out just because you know, or you think people are waiting for it like that, you'll put it out and it's a mess. They're gonna be like, and they won't return. They might not
Right.
return. So I think like
Yeah.
you putting out something that wasn't your 100%. I think people wait
Yeah.
for the 100%. Like we waited this long for Wolverine to Deadpool.
I mean, really.
Hugh Jackman.
Really.
Yeah,
You're talking about decades.
And it came, yeah, and we got it. So and we gotta wait decades for Blade for some reason, I guess. I don't
Don't
know.
get me started on that one, man.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's not. Okay.
Oh man, I was like, that
Um,
line. And there's been one blade. There will only be one blade. I was
like, did he know? Did they know when they were making that? I mean, because it seemed like it might be only, you know what I mean? He might be
I
great.
think he knew. I think he knew. I was like, damn. I'm like,
Oh,
really? I'm like, Ryan, really? Y'all just gut punching everybody. I'm like,
also that was the biggest pop I got in the theater when he walked out too. So.
oh man.
There's so much I want to talk to you about more, but let me just ask you this one uplifting thing. I mean, I don't know how uplifting, depending on your answer, it could be uplifting, but in horror, I'm staying on a horror vein. I know a horror vein.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
But,
That's no problem.
If you could give me just a few of your favorite horror thrillers, and if you got one scene that has stuck with you, that motivationally, inspiringly, or maybe scared the shit out you, just one horror scene that is like your favorite. So a few of your favorite movies and one of your like most iconic horror scenes.
I would say the Halloween, the original.
Okay.
It's always
Mara's my homie, man. I smile every time I hear about Halloween. It's just,
Actually, I gotta
we've
change
talked
my
about it.
ringtone every year. My ringtone always has the Halloween theme song, so I gotta change my ringtone now. But yeah, Halloween, Michael Myers has always been, because the I like the simple fact that this dude don't run, but be everywhere.
Yeah, that's Batman. That could be Batman. Maybe that's why I like him. That boy just be in the bushes looking at you.
It was like, this dude
Turn around, he up the
do
street.
not run, but he's everywhere. And it was like, and he watches you. He watches you, and he'll walk, and he's smart too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Michael Myers, he's not dumb. He's smart, and he'll watch you, and then he'll look at a different direction, and then he'll just turn and pivot and go that way. And then he was like, "Oh, okay, you going? All right, I'm gonna go this way. I know I'm gonna catch you over here.
All the shortcuts or something.
All the shortcuts.
Or he got a
and it's
gun.
like, and then too is like the simple fact that it was this. They did it in the classic, but then they redid it in the new one with Laurie Strode when she looked outside the window and she seen the young guy that was out there in that last Halloween film that he was standing
like
outside.
Boyfriend or something.
Yeah. And so that was, they kind of took away from on the classic shot as far as her looking out the window, and he sat down in the original. He's outside standing there looking at her, and then she turns and then she looks back out there, and the dude's gone.
Yeah.
He was like, okay. Then now you get your brain thinking like, okay, where's this dude? Where is he now? Like, is he coming through the back door? Or is he coming in the house? Like,
Yeah.
is he around somewhere? Now you're panicking. You're freaking out because you don't know where this dude went off to. You turned
Mhm.
around and just looked for a few seconds. You turn back, he's gone. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, yeah. Now I need to figure out something. I need to get some guns and
Oh.
everything.
Nobody ever got a gun either. But anyway.
So Michael Myers, hands down, always.
Mhm.
My one. The one I can't say two scenes
Oh, yeah,
that
you give it to.
has always been that's kind of stuck, and I'm still trying. I want to replicate it. Is the extended hallway scene from Nightmare on Elm Street?
Oh goodness.
Yeah, when
With the arms.
when they how the hallway extends when you're running, and that hallway extends, and so like that scene has always stuck with me, and it's like I always found that as a very unique perspective, especially for horrors, because it gives you the illusion of you cannot get away regardless on what you do. It's always going to be there. You can't get away from it. And then there
was it in the house or was it in the school?
I think that was in because not in the house. I think that was in the school, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at images.
I think that was in the school. I think that was in the school. Now you're gonna make me look it up now.
I don't like none of this. If Freddy, when I was little, man, we talked about it before. It's just nope, no parts of him.
Look, see,
I see lockers and it's like a blood trail that went around the corner. Like,
yeah, when he dragged the body.
Okay, see, that was it then. I just put Nightmare on Elm Street hallway, and that's what they showed me, what you was talking about. Oh man, what were we watching as kids? Who let you? Who was the responsible cousin let me watch this mess? I remember my cousin was watching this, and then like it was the one when he I think it was Johnny Depp that got swallowed into the bed and stuff, and then blood. What is happening? Yeah. I remember some guys riding a motorcycle and like the parts of it was going up his arms. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I'm not going to bed ever.
Yeah.
That's probably why I got sleeping problems now. But
yeah, I know.
But
yeah, even Nightmare on Elm Street, that was also one location. That house.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
I
mean, she
saw the movie, never went back.
So you went to the school. You had the school scene, which was in the boiler room. But most of it, like the main stuff, was happening in the house and everything.
I probably paid that much for that house.
Yeah, which is something. But and then it was another iconic scene that happened in Nightmare on Elm Street is when he came over. He poked his head through the wall above the headboard on Nightmare on Elm Street over Nancy's headboard.
It was just like the wall.
His hand, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did he ever come? Did he come through it?
No.
I wonder if that was the first time that was used.
No, I think so.
Because
and
then they tried to replicate it later. Like,
yeah, they tried to replicate it later, which ended up being like a whole CGI thing, and it was like kind of cheesy and stuff. But I was like, okay, all right, I understand what you're doing.
Dope. That was dope.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, older now, I can appreciate it. When I was younger, I was like, can we just hang it on the wall so that if it falls on me, I know he coming in the room and stuff like that? But yeah, I remember that. Whew, that was some good ones.
But yeah. But yeah, so like, but most of like for my things here is pretty much like I like to play more heavily on the whole Michael Myers thing as far as you thinking that you see them there and then you turn around, you don't see them, and then next thing you know they coming from somewhere else and stuff. And it's I really I would say Spellbinder was heavily influenced through like with Hitchcock, but also with Nightmare on Elm Street in mind as well too, especially the bedroom scene. I couldn't do the whole wall scenario, which I would love to have done.
Especially
But
Spellbinder because he messes with your
yeah, yeah,
visuals and mental. Yeah.
right. So, and then yeah, like with Tristan, you have like more of a modern style of like Secret Window and mirrors and stuff like that. So,
Right.
but and then you have Home Alone.
Mhm.
Home Alone again. If you haven't, if anybody, when you see it, it's more of a like, I would say a mix of Halloween with Nightmare on Elm Street a little bit, but
I always appreciate like with them. I always appreciate the villain that's you don't see, or
right,
the antagonist that you don't see, the the thing that's coming to kill you that you don't see.
yeah,
Like I did a
right,
romantic film, and you in the background blurry, you almost caught glimpses of what was coming into this room for this
right,
girl because I just wanted you to hear the noises and see her fear, and that's what I
yeah,
work off of, and
yeah, yeah,
so yeah, that's why I liked Home Alone. I was like, I want to see more. I want to see. I actually do want to put eyes on it, but
yeah.
what movie was that? Was it what was a movie that couldn't be? They had to be quiet. A Quiet Place. Yeah.
Oh, The Quiet
Yeah.
Place.
Before I
Yeah,
even saw the alien, I was like creeped out just about why you gotta be quiet. What is it? Who getting
yeah,
snatched up? People just disappearing.
yeah. And then they played with you with the sensory deprivation too in the
Yes.
theaters. If you
Yes.
like, it was like so intense. It was like so quiet, and I was like, "Oh, this is good." I was like, "I like this."
The
I was like,
latest
"You
one I
really
saw in the theater
feel
by myself too. Like I was
really."
happy no one was there because I ain't hear chewing, scratching, sniffing. Them quiet scenes was quiet. I was like,
Man, I was literally in the theater, and the theater was packed. And for a
oh,
packed theater,
oh,
everybody was quiet.
nice,
Nobody ate
nice.
pop. Everybody was scared to even eat popcorn and
During
stuff.
them quiet.
They was like, they was sitting
Yeah.
up there. They was like, should I chew or what? Because it was like to that point to where you had to be quiet, or you think that that monster was gonna actually come out the screen.
Everybody was like, is that cat gonna meow? That's what I get.
Like it was like shoot the cat. Like I'm sorry, but it's like.
I ain't think the cat was gonna make it. I thought they was gonna like drown it or something. But I'm
But
glad they didn't.
then he added another layer as far as having a baby during that whole scenario,
Yeah, oh my
and then
God.
I'm like,
Oh,
bruh, I'm like,
good
what?
stuff. Good stuff.
She's giving birth, and she's got to have this baby. They created a whole room, a soundproof room,
Yeah.
and stuff, and I was like, okay. I'm like, oh,
So you,
that was.
so we, I know you hit the three movies,
Mhm.
Spellbinder, Tristan, and Home Alone. I did want to. So I'm glad you did that because we can circle back around to Despondent because I don't think we touched on it too much. I just wanted to know, as this is your latest project, like you just briefly before we get out of there, tell us what Despondent's all about. I can read the synopsis thing, but I mean, unless
Okay. Yeah.
did you want me to read the synopsis?
Despondent.
Okay.
You can read this. Yeah, you can read the synopsis.
I
Go
read the
ahead.
synopsis, then you like just fill in the blanks and stuff. So it says
Okay.
living alone and struggling with everyday living. Angela goes through the day trying to cope and deal with her depression until she gets an unexpected visitor. Here we go with this unexpected visitor. Is that part of the? Where is it? Is that part of the stories, visions? No, was it mentally dangerous? Is that suspicious and mentally dangerous? Is that what that is? Unexpected visitor. That could be so much. So much is an unexpected visitor.
Okay.
Is it coming from under the
Okay.
bed? Are they in the closet? Is it the UPS guy?
Well, with this, with Despondent, actually, we shifted gears.
Okay.
With Despondent, Despondent is actually an awareness film.
Okay.
It's more depression awareness.
Oh, okay.
But this one here right now, we're almost finished. Like I said, we're like 96% finished. Close to being 99% with the finished edit of this. But I would say that this here was like a depression awareness film, and this kind of rung well with me because I had a friend. I think you probably know her. I don't want to put their business out there,
Yeah.
that
We can
individual
talk about
out there.
Right, right,
You
right.
know,
That's
we'll
later.
talk about that on the sidebar. But from the East Coast, that was here,
Okay.
and that individual was I didn't even know was dealing with depression,
Mm-hmm.
and then I found out that individual um, um, let's say she decided to leave.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Okay.
let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of hit hard for me. And when I found that out, that it really hurt. And so when I wrote this, we did this during the pandemic.
Oh,
Everything was shut down.
the
And then
movie.
yeah, we
Oh,
did
really?
this
Oh,
one, this
okay.
funded during the pandemic. Everything was shut down and stuff. And I was hearing from other friends as far as like they was also dealing with depression as well during that time because of
Yeah.
the pandemic was shut down and everything. And so
Yeah.
like I sat down and I wrote this short and everything. And so that's how that came about. And this right here was I read it. We did this in 2 days. I
Mm.
and Andrea, who is a phenomenal, wonderful, and awesome actress,
Yes.
and also my stepdaughter. She was great in this, and she did really good. And I asked her if she could do it, and she was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I was like, "Okay." So we did it over the weekend, and 2 days we shot it, and yeah, it was just her and I, just her and I had me, the camera, and I was lighting up the room, the set and
Yeah.
everything, dressing everything and stuff, and it was a very emotional. This is a very emotional piece here, and I was like, okay, so I hope it conveys the message that I would like to for everybody to be able to see, and just know that you're not alone. There
Right.
are others out there, and you don't have to go through everything by yourself. You know,
Right. Mm-hmm.
so. But yeah, with this one, this is a total shift in dynamic. It's like dynamic as far as what we normally do as
Yeah.
far as
Yeah.
here, but it was something that was weighing heavily on my spirit that I was like, all right, I need to make this, because this is
Right.
something that people do need to see and need to be able to know, like, hey, you're not by yourself or whatnot.
Definitely. Definitely.
So, but I mean, like I said, I am a psych thriller person.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, the score is a little
It has a little
the
element.
the little the score, the musical score,
Let's go. Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be it would be is very interesting, and I am very happy the way it turned out, and I hope everybody enjoys it too.
I'm looking forward
Um,
to it very much.
uh, Being able to see and also to convey it, and please share it once it's out. And it will be up on our YouTube
Okay.
channel as well too. But before I release it out to the public, and I will let you know, Nate, when I do,
Mm.
so you can post out about it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Where I'm gonna try to get it into companies like that's dealing with like people that have patients and clients that deal with depressions or whatnot, something that they can
Definitely.
have a tool to be able to use as well to
Mm.
that they can use to help
Right.
help
Right.
their patients and stuff too. So
Nice.
you know,
I'm really looking forward to it now.
yeah,
I mean, it's not. And it's not like just a. It's not your everyday average thriller from the HOC Productions.
yeah,
Heavenly Omnipotent Curtis.
yeah. Look,
All right, now. Hey, man, you might want to change the name to that.
no, no,
That's big. But yeah, that's what's up. That's dang,
yeah,
good
yeah,
stuff.
but yeah. So
I can't wait to see it now. I mean, look at the
that,
visuals, y'all. I mean, I got them up on the screen too. Just looking at the visuals, the behind the scenes, the artwork in there. Who did the artwork? If you don't mind me asking.
Andrea. Andrea did artwork. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did all the paintings and stuff and everything. So yeah, she did all the artwork.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, she was really
All right.
good at it.
Cool. Good stuff, man. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the sequel of Spellbinder. I'm looking forward to the rest of Home Alone. And that's that
Yeah.
was that it for Home Alone? Or just
Yeah, Home Alone. And then we have Tristan. Actually, Tristan's story isn't done. So
you wrote another?
yeah, Tristan's story isn't done.
Oh,
Tristan
all right.
is actually part of a 3-part story. So, you
Oh,
know,
dang.
it's
You already wrote it
yeah.
though?
Yeah, that was already yeah.
Supposed to be writing, y'all. Be writing. Visionary director is what it is. See, the
Yeah.
industry, the industry is the industry. The art is the art. We gonna keep making this art, man.
Yeah,
We gonna
it's
keep making
art.
this art. Curtis, keep making this art for us, man.
Thanks, man.
Also,
Thank
you
you.
inspire me too, bro. I mean, you know, I don't know if I might have told you that. You inspire me too, bro. You're inspiration to me.
Oh
So,
man. Thanks, man.
black,
Thanks,
black
bro.
actors, you know how we do.
You know, look.
Black directors now.
Look,
Yeah.
you really lit the fire. You know, you started it all like from like what was it, T-SARS and
Yeah.
and
That's
then
what we call
all the
it.
brilliant T-SARS and all the brilliant minds and
Oh yeah.
you know,
Oh man, when you look
yeah.
like Sam Jackson,
Man, look.
the Sam Jackson mustache. Yeah. Using your Sam Jackson back on that set, boy. You just ain't say MF. You ain't say MF.
Yeah, no.
That was fun stuff. Fun stuff.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm glad we got to see what you had and your contribution to this art form and things like that. I can't wait to see much more or so much more. I can't wait.
No, yeah. Thanks.
HOC Productions dot
Biz
biz
on the website, hocproductions.biz on the website,
Right,
and
break it down
then
for me.
you have HOC Production LLC on Instagram,
That's okay.
and
Let's see.
the same HOC Productions on YouTube,
All right.
and you know, then you have myself, Curtis K. Case, on Instagram.
That's right below your little box right here on the.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, man. Yo, I appreciate you
Yep.
taking time out of your busy schedule to give me an hour and 24 minutes of your time. An hour and 20 minutes of your time. I'll try to keep it to an hour, but
Yeah, it's cool,
always good to
man.
talk to you.
Yeah.
Stuff and things like that. So, let's make the time between our next our next podcast shorter. Okay. And
Sounds good.
again, thank you for everything. Everybody, check out HOC Productions, and until next time, stay royal, stay loyal. Peace out.
Peace out.